Goresh is finally in the game, and you guys know we've done quite a couple of first impressions, but I have been doing a little bit more of a deep dive, which you guys I know love. So what we're going to showcase in today's video is actually how Goresh works. So this is how the skill 3 works, as well as even the skill interaction for skill 1. So hopefully you guys understand how to pair him up and get the maximum out of this hero. Hello, yes, smash like, comment and subscribe for more daily videos. Me, MrSneakyy, and like I said, we're here with Goresh, the one and only, the brand new infantry commander, and a lot of people are obviously kind of looking at him like, maybe I want this guy, maybe I don't, because they don't understand fully how this guy works. And you know what? I'm here to clear it all up, and I've got video footage for you guys to actually enjoy through with this testing. So obviously we're going to go quickly, just a quick rundown on that kit, and then we're going to talk about more about that kit more in depth. So if you want these style of videos and you love this, guess what? I can do more of this in the future. So Goresh, his first skill obviously is the one that most people are wondering about. When you trigger this active skill, you're going to get a 6-second duration buff, allowing you to obviously reduce the damage taken by 15% and giving you that 50% physical attack bonus, which is really, really good. And then the other part of it, which a lot of people are wondering, is that skill 3, because skill 3 says when Goresh Legion launches a counter attack, they have a 50% chance to deal an additional damage up to 5 surrounding legions. Each additional legion target reduces damage taken by 15%, and this can trigger up to 2 times per second, and obviously starts at base of 50 damage but goes all the way up to 200 damage when you max it out, which is kind of absurd when you start to see this thing in action. So that is a nice little rundown. What is this hero doing? He's basically all about kind of obviously dealing area effect counter style based damage. But how do these skills actually work? So the first question we need to answer is the first skill. How does the first skill? Because obviously the first skill has a damage taken reduction buff. So depending on who you pair him with, how is this interaction going to work? So, for example, one of the pairings I want to go with is Goresh with Garwood or Garwood with Goresh. And obviously Garwood also has this same skill where he gets a damage taken reduction buff of 20%. So how does this interaction work? Some of you guys may know this already, and it might be a little spoiler for you guys. But as a full explanation here, and you guys are going to be able to see it as well for you guys, we got the Garwood and the Goresh here basically paired up just to fight quickly a Darkling, just to trigger a battle report and go into that battle report. And what you're going to find out between both of these reports when we break them down is the fact that buffs, the way buffs work is the stronger buff always stays in effect. So what does that mean? It means if you are trying to get maybe an extra couple of seconds of that damage taker reduction to cheese it out, there is a matter of order on how this comes to you guys. So let's do that. Let's showcase the battle report now, because obviously we've got a nice little couple of triggers there for our hero, and let's go into the main report. So the reports here, and as you guys know, you can go through the battle logs in the game and hit the obviously advanced battle log, and you can break down every single turn in the game. And what you're going to look out for is the little green little symbol, you know, just above our head here. And that little green symbol means a hero skill has been triggered. And what we're looking for is, as you can see, the revitalizing rune. So when you're reading down here, you can see revitalizing rune was triggered. So this is our skill that's doing the damage taken reduction. So now when we go down and we read on the side here, it does state, just obviously on, I know I'm blocking it a little bit, how this skill works. So Garwood gains resistance effect for 5 seconds, and this takes effect next turn. So then when we go down now, this is obviously in the effects range right now, and now we're going to the next stage of combat. The enemy did their little skill here, and then our Goresh finally fired his skill the next turn after. So now we look into obviously the little skills. We can see Goresh's skill Ruthless obviously being triggered here, which is not the one we care about. But when we look at Wild Blood has been used. You can now see Goresh has gained the effect above of physical effect of 7 seconds, and this will obviously take effect next turn. And then the physical key. But this is where you need to keep going down, because when you start going down a little bit more, this is where the report reveals the little insights and the little secret of the game. So here it says Garwood's Legion already has the same or greater strength of Wild Blood's damage taken. So this was ineffective. So basically what this is saying to you as a gamer when we are looking at our Garwood as well as our Goresh, it means if you have Garwood in front and he triggers his skill first, what this is going to do is allow your Goresh to still trigger his first ability, but you're only gaining that 50%. And this might not seem like much for a lot of players, and you could obviously argue, maybe separate these guys out and you're not going to put them together. But what you can do is, and what we're going to showcase, is put Goresh in the front. And by doing this is actually a lower buff. So meaning when Goresh triggers his buff, he's going to get that 15% trigger, and then he's going to get at least 1 or 2 seconds of it, and then the Garwood will trigger his skill, overwriting it, meaning you get another 5 seconds of that buff, of obviously the resistance from the Garwood skill. I think it's 5 seconds, 4 seconds, I do apologise chat, but it's 4 seconds of this 20%, because it's now a greater buff, because it is 20%, and now you're gaining, again, like I say, 4 seconds. So in total here, you're gaining 6 seconds worth of damage reduction still, but you're gaining that actual better benefit by having Garwood in the secondary tree. So let's show this off in the game, so you can not obviously take my word for it. We've got the battle report to obviously justify it. So just like I said, we've got the exact same setup here. We've got our Goresh, no pets, so you know there's no venomous triggers or anything there. And we're just going to do the same. All we've got is our artifacts. We've got the Goresh in front, and then Garwood in the back. So all we're doing is attacking, getting those rage triggers. As you can see, the rage bar just filling up, so we can get obviously a battle report to work with here. And this is the battle report. So we've got Goresh's obviously skill triggering first here in the turn. So we can look at Wild Blood. Wild Blood being triggered, we gain physical keen, we gain the resistance for 6 seconds. Takes effect next turn, so we know we're getting at least this extra turn of stats while we're here. So when we look at this little bit at the bottom here, and you can read it, I know I'm blocking a little bit, but it does say the damage taken of was obviously increased there. It's got 5.5 seconds remaining, as well as the 5.5 seconds remaining on the physical attack. So we know we've got those buffs currently, which is great to see. And then if we go a bit forward, what we're going to do is now go to Garwood triggers. And Garwood, obviously, which is kind of funny, triggers his skill a turn earlier. Might be just a talent build I'm running on Goresh at the moment. But now this is where we get to see the same effects. So we can see above now we've got Revitalizing Rune being used. And then if we look where my head is blocking, Garwood gained the physical effects, as well as the build gained the resistant effect for 4 seconds. So you can see here the exact thing I was explaining in the battle log. So if you're wondering how you actually want to pair these guys and you want to try to maximize it, put Garwood in the back, and then you're going to put Goresh in the front, allowing you to get a little bit of an extension on that damage reduction. So that's how the first skill works. I know it's a little bit in depth, I know hard to understand, but hopefully I've done it justice for you guys. And guess what, we're not done there. Like I said, we're going to showcase how this third skill works, because this is basically the rest of his kit, because a lot of people don't understand how this works, and I'm going to explain it and then I'm going to showcase it again. So it's pretty simple. Whenever you could be stood still and someone, maybe a mage, an archer player, launches a attack on you, even if it's from far away, if you have 5 enemy targets around you, you will deal damage to them. And that is what this skill says. It's pretty simple, it's pretty explanatory, and you might not think it's that simple, but let's go to the gameplay footage. And here's the test. So we've got Goresh with Garwood. Only strike base, obviously we're only gaining vigor just to make ourselves a little bit tankier. But what we're doing is using this one little march on its own in our little dragon trials. And I'm going to showcase how this effect and the range of this all comes together, because it does all come together in this little clip here, because we can understand now already how these damage numbers actually work. So if we look at, and we pause it here, and we're going to start getting the live draw involved, so you guys can obviously understand what we're pointing at when we're looking at this. But if we look here at the Guan, the Guan is taking damage even though I'm not obviously hitting her, as well as even if we look here at this mage unit, every single time you see that 65-65 or you see the 62-62, that is the damage from my third skill on Goresh, dealing its damage, which is really, really good. And you're wondering about the range, don't worry, we've got the range all covered here in the footage when we carry on playing. So if we go and skip forward now, and we're trying to reposition just to showcase the range difference, and what we're doing is looking at this Lilia right here, and the Lilia is obviously getting a little bit closer, and there we go. And now we've got damage on her, and you'll notice the damage on my Guan has stopped because I have changed damage ranges. So if we obviously move my big old head here, what you can see is the march is just located above me. This is the little march, and if we get the live draw, you can see the actual range. So here is basically near range, similar to cavalry players, while if you look here, it is a little bit further. It's a little bit longer than this line. I know it's not by much, but it is by a couple of feet, and that is the difference in this. But what you can see is, as the footage carries on playing now, and we go back, like I said, anyone in, even if I'm not dealing damage, look, I could be walking around right now, guys. I could be walking around when I'm dealing damage here, and look, when I'm walking around, it's gonna deal damage still. So this is what I was talking about. No matter what, as long as you have someone within your little radius area of effect, it's almost like you're hitting this thorn damage, this brambleback damage constantly out, so it doesn't even matter. So that's how it works. It's skill damage, and this is the third skill finally solved for you guys, and that's coming back to it. So this is the Goresh third skill. This is how powerful it's going to be. You can do that to obviously 200 base damage. At the moment I was doing 50, and you can see it was going to 57, 61, so it could have obviously some decent growth rate. So it's nothing to laugh about. But that is Goresh, guys. Goresh's kit, how it works properly with his first skill and his third skill. Are you wondering how to invest into him? It's pretty simple, guys. Do what I've done. Max the first skill, max the second skill, so you get all of the stats that you need, and then you will max the third skill and leave him. You will then later on star him up, because you don't need to use this skill as a low spender, right? But that is his kit. If you're wondering for pairings, obviously for pairings you can use something like Madeline very easily. This will work because of not having a resistance built in like Garwood does. But if you was going to use Garwood with Goresh, make sure the Goresh is in the primary so you can maximize on that the damage taken buff on your march. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you've enjoyed it. A nice deep dive a little bit more into Goresh so you guys can understand how all of those skills work. I hope the little gameplay guides we've got and the reports just justifies all of my explanations here, and you guys can enjoy it. Obviously give me your thoughts on what you would like to see paired with Goresh, and if you want, I will try it out myself and rock it in this season. So with all of that, smash like, comment and subscribe, and until the next one, stay safe, stay sneaky, peace out.